Let's Talk Sports fans. Thanks for tuning in.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another great LTS show. I am your host, Bodkins. Woo! It is Monday night. Man, right now I'm currently watching the Indiana Fever. My girl Caitlin Clark try to win her first game. It has been up and down so far these first 4 games for. You can see that she's going to be fine, but then there's things where you're like, hey, she's going to have to work on some things. I think she got to get a little physical, a little bit, put some bottom mass on. She's played a lot of basketball as well. Like what people don't realize with the WNBA is she pretty much played all these college minutes, didn't have any rest straight into the season. They've only been together with this team they just said it on 22 days. So they'll be all right. She'll be all right. I have no concerns. The team wise, they may not be very good, but I have no concerns with her. Nonetheless, lots to get into tonight. We've got a lot of the NBA talk. We'll start off with that. Obviously, the 2 Game 7s, both road teams winning yesterday. Knicks losing in the Garden. Nuggets, 20-point lead at one point. And oh, shit, I about really choked on myself. The Nuggets choke it away. The Wolves win. It's Wolves Mavs series. That series to me is going to be incredible. Obviously got Celtics, now Pacers in the Eastern Conference. We're going to have a new champion. This is the first time they said this is the 6th consecutive year where the defending champion didn't get out of at least, to the second round. Like out of the second round. So we'll have a new champion for the 6th consecutive year in the NBA, which is good. One of these young stars, whether it's going to be Tatum, whether it's going to be Tyrese Halliburton, whether it's going to be, Ant, is it going to be, not Kyrie, he already won one, but Luka, one of them guys is going to win their first chip, this year, and we'll be excited to talk about it. And we'll start the show off with Mr. Nick himself, Johnny Cruz, sulking like the rest of New York did yesterday. Johnny, they needed some bodies, and once Brunson fractured his hand, season over.
Yeah, pretty much. We talked about it the last few weeks. Everybody they were dropping like flies on the team. Everybody wants to blame Coach Tibbs and him playing the guys a lot of minutes. I don't think that had anything to do with it. They were just breaking down. But no, this is the part of liking the Knicks, but not being a diehard fan, is that it sucks, but I'm not hurting like I know most of the Knicks fans are hurting right now.
Here's the thing, though, is like that team, like they can say what they want about Tibbs, and Tibbs does. I've said this before. Tibbs teams usually break down in the playoffs, but Tibbs gets the most out of his teams. There's not another coach that probably could coach them up the way he did this year with, especially throughout the injuries. And it's really some of these injuries, right? Like not Tibbs's fault that Julius Randle gets hurt. Really, that has no minutes, no minute wise. Even Julius even Brunson yesterday, it was just a freak accident. The Mitchell kid was Embiid. That was Embiid, dirty play on Embiid. Yesterday, the only one that you could maybe claim was minute-wise was OG, right? Because of the hamstring, just playing too many minutes. So,
I don't think it was Tibbs in the minutes. I mean, if you look at it, I think Luka's averaging like 42 minutes a game. That's what you do in the playoffs. The best players are going to play. Your rotations get cut down in the playoffs. So it had nothing to do with that. It was just a matter of injuries. You mentioned it. The Julius Randle one has been hurting them all year since he got hurt. Then, like you mentioned, Mitchell Robinson, the craziness with Joel Embiid, and then Brunson with his hand. It's unfortunate, but I mean, you hit it right on the nail right on the head. With this team was almost built for Tom Thibodeau. These guys fight, they scratch, they crawl, they're gritty, they're fighters. So I Knicks fans, and again, I like the Knicks, but I'm not like a diehard. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I ain't hurting right now like Knicks fans are hurting right now. So I feel for them. But they should be excited about this team.
About the future.
Right. They should be proud of this team right now. They fought, even though they were shorthanded. They went out swinging. It sucks to lose Game 7 on your home court. But Indiana's just a young, team. They were hitting shots like crazy yesterday, so it just happens to fall that way. It's probably in their best interest because they probably would have got swept by Boston. But Knicks fans should be happy with this team.
They wouldn't have got swept by Boston. Nobody. Boston.
It would have. Yeah, it would have been a gentleman's sweep. It would have been a gentleman's sweep. Yeah, because Boston can't win all their home games like they should. But they probably would have got exposed against Boston, to be quite honest. But again, this team is in a good position. They're gonna have salary cap money. They got hella draft picks. So this team is only gonna get better. They'll figure out what they're gonna do as far as re-signing OG. But I like the future for this New York Knicks team. They should be happy. Knicks fans should be happy and proud of their team. It was a fun game until it wasn't. To be quite honest, Indiana, like I said, they were just shooting crazy.
They shot 76 from the field last night. Yeah,
that's insane, bro. That's insane. Like that's just. It was almost like the NBA guys were just saying, "Yeah, Knicks, y'all not moving on. Y'all not moving on, man. Sorry, you know what I'm saying." But that's it.
Speaking of God's not moving on, I mean, the second half of the Timberwolves series, the game, I mean, they made some shots that had no business fucking making. Rudy Gobert with the shot clock winding fucking down, throws it over Nikola Jokic's head. And fucking makes it. After that, I was like, they win in this game. Like you don't fucking make shots like that where God is like, you know what? No fucking way shots. Like those are no fucking way shots, and they made them over and over, especially the second half yesterday.
And honestly, I mean, if you remember, like Jokic made a few of those shots last year on their run. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it kind of happens that way, but Minnesota just they put the clamps on them in the second half. You mentioned Anthony Edwards. He didn't have the greatest of games as far as scoring wise. He shot horribly, but he did everything else. He played great defense. He rebounded. The effort plays were all Minnesota, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Surprising.
Nas Reed came in.
Yeah, it was surprising to see Denver they were kind of nonchalant in that third quarter, and it just once Ant hit that three to cut it to 1 right at the end of the third period. I was like, yeah, there's no way Minnesota's going to lose this game. Like, they were just the hungrier, the tougher team. So I'm happy for them. I'm excited for this young, group of young players that are coming up in this league. So, yeah, we get to see, a new champion coming up. I mean, I don't care who wins, to be quite honest. I don't have a dog in the fight. But I'd be happy for any of them. You know what I'm saying? Luka is balling out of his mind. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm excited for both of these conference finals, more the West and the East. But I'm anxious to see, you know what I'm saying, who's gonna be playing. If I had to put money on it now, I would say Minnesota. But at the same time, like I mentioned it at the trade deadline. I love what Dallas did, getting PJ Washington from Charlotte, and then the kid from Washington for defense and rebounds. And that's all that Dallas needed. You know what I'm saying? Because they got Luka, Kyrie, and they got some other shooters. They just needed some bodies to grab rebounds and play some defense. So Dallas that Western Conference final is going to be fun, bro.
And before we break it down, we'll go ahead and we'll bring in none other than super producer Tanner Dawson. Tanner, what is up, my man? What is your thoughts on yesterday's 2 Game 7s? And real quick, to me, one thing, like Johnny mentioned, Ant struggled shooting wise, but you know what he does better than a lot of all these other young plays great defense. Like he had some steals in that game. He plays both ends of both ends for such a young player that we don't see a lot of guys do. A la Luka doesn't play any sort of defense. No, Tyrese Halliburton doesn't play very good defense, but Ant will put the clamps down on guys and dig in. Like, this kid is phenomenal, and even when he's not shooting it great, he played great defense and led into some steals for some easy dunks to get himself going.
No, you said it right, man. Ant's a different guy. He's one of those guys that he plays what we think Tatum should play like, right?
Yes.
As the Celtics guy, as the big guy, the guy that talked to Kobe all the time before, his passing. Like, this is what Tatum should play like over in Boston, but he doesn't. This is what Ant is doing, and he is the definition, like you said early in the playoffs, right, Nick? He's a killer. He's going to come get you. And he is also a guy that you see also as leadership there within Minnesota, because they're able to go out and be 20 points down to the defending champs, to the MVP
in their own house,
on the road, right? On the road,
in Denver, and you never saw them let up. The third quarter, that's when they got through, and they never let up. They soared past halftime. Since halftime, did exactly what they needed to do. That's what you want. That is a leader. That is somebody you look at as, close to a Kobe, a guy that can lead a team, a guy that can lead a drama situation from the last 3-4 years in Minnesota, right? And now you got Rudy Gobert, Defensive Player of the Year. Towns can just be a star. He doesn't have to be a superstar. There's no pressure. Right. It's really a change there in Minnesota. And quite frankly, we're sitting here and why not? Why not give him a shot?
Yeah, I mean, somebody, I love Ant's personality too. He does take a lot of that on himself, so I like that. Takes, says like, and says the right things. You know what I mean? Like, hey, he told all the Denver in Game 5, we'll be fucking back. Like, we'll be fucking back.
Right. See you next time. See you next game.
Yeah, we'll see you in Game 6. Or Game 7. Like, we'll be fucking. And then even yesterday, they're like. A reporter asked him like, "Hey, you guys are supposed to lose," and he's like, "We fucking lost last year. We've been losing." You know what I mean? like why not us?
Right, what you mean we supposed to lose?
Yeah,
about?
It's the difference, man. It's a
mindset.
Kind of player that we haven't seen in over a decade, in over maybe a decade and a half, right? That kind of mindset. We haven't
since like Kobe, really, since like that, right. His mindset when he was going through his run, like that's the type of team it is right now, or his mindset is there, just like that.
I mean, that was part of the game, definitely game of the series right there for that. Just be able to see a 20-point deficit like that come down to it. Dallas OKC, Dallas and OKC were playing Wednesday. I picked Dallas to win the series. And it was a tied series at the time, and I was like, no, Dallas has the vets, the guys that's been there. Like Luka, look what he did against the Suns for years. I keep bringing it up because there's a reason for it, and what he does there for that team. So I said Dallas to win it. The other buffoon said OKC, and here we are sitting in Dallas in the conference finals. So
I said Dallas from Jump Street in 6. I said Dallas. Yeah. I think
we all wound up picking Dallas. I mean, Kyrie's in the perfect position to just be the Robin. You know what I'm saying? Let Luka be the superstar, and he can play off of Luka.
What was Kyrie in Cleveland when they won?
Right, exactly the way he was with LeBron. Right,
because they were dead last when he was a superstar in Cleveland before LeBron showed back up. Get that kind of player what he should be. He's not a superstar player. He's not a guy that should highlight the whole team. He's a guy that sits there and does what he needs to do and go on from there. And that's where Luka.
And I think the best thing for Kyrie was to get out of New York because the spotlight was heavily on him and everything else, right? Like in Dallas, now Luka is the star, but the media, like as far as like media, national media, they're not paying attention to Dallas like they were when he was in Brooklyn or even Boston, like the East Coast, side. Like he's kind of been able to play under the radar even more, kind of not so much like he did in Cleveland because Cleveland had LeBron, but in Dallas, like they're not. Luka's a star, but he's not like the national star that LeBron was. He's not. It's under the radar. So like. Yeah, no, but so now he's really under like that Robin type role to where, the national media is not paying attention. They don't really care. They don't care, what his religious beliefs are, the vaccination, like all that shit is put past him. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah. It also helps that you had Denver still playing in the series at the time too.
Right.
So all that highlight this year didn't have to even be a thing. you know. So,
Yeah.
You know,
I will say he did bring a lot of the stuff in Brooklyn on himself. You know, say when he was in New York. But I'm completely with you though, as far as like Dallas was like the perfect place for him to go to kind of get away from the spotlight. And like you mentioned, he could be the number 2 to Luka, and not for nothing, but he's playing with a bit of chip on his shoulder because people were talking hella shit about him. You know what I'm saying? That it wasn't going to work with him and Luka, and that you know what I'm saying?
I mean, look what they did last year.
He's not worth the money and the headache of re-signing him and stuff. So, you know, I don't know, man. I like their chances, bro. Because Luka, like who's gonna? I mean, Ant is gonna have to play Luka.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a fun battle.
Well, they're gonna have to compare.
That's gonna be a fun battle, bro.
Rudy Gobert and Ant, because you got a guy that Luka will go down low on you.
Yes,
so you have Rudy Gobert kind of playing a zone style of defense there, preparing for him to come down, and Ant on him while he's on the outside, or some kind of way there where you can kind of double team him in some way without actually freeing up a guy. You know, it's one of those.
I said this. The other 3 teams yesterday were rooting for Minnesota because I felt like Minnesota matched up the best with Denver. I felt like Denver could have ran through the other teams, but couldn't run through Minnesota. And everybody else, I think, feels better that, hey, we can match up and play better with Minnesota. Minnesota's had Denver's number all season. You know what I mean? Like they won like the season series. Minnesota, I think, had like 6 or 8 games, 8 games, I think 8 or 9 games where they didn't score 100, lost all of them. 5 of them were to the Timberwolves. And so that shows you like, you know, like Minnesota, bro. Yeah. Minnesota, you know, how good Minnesota is. They're the number 1 defensive team. Like defense still wins championships. Like we can say all what we want. And they're the best defensive team out there out of all the rest of the other 4 teams left. But man,
first round draft picks that they gave up, is that starting to spend out now with Rudy Gobert? I mean,
well, they made it to a conference final, right? They made it to a conference final, so ain't nobody in Minnesota complaining. Ain't nobody in Minnesota complaining. But you that's a great point that you make too about the whole worrying about Denver thing, because everybody was worried about the Joker and how you gonna deal with the Joker and then his supporting cast. Like nobody's fearing Minnesota. You're gonna respect Ant and what he's capable of doing or whatever. But the other teams, like you knew you had a problem with the Joker if you had to play the Joker. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I know Luka and company in Dallas are happy as shit that Denver's out of it. You know what I'm saying? Not that Minnesota can't go in there and win, but they don't have to deal with the Joker there. So it's and I'm glad you mentioned the OKC series with Dallas. That was a fun series too. Shea he's a dude, bro. Like they need to figure out, you know what I'm saying, a good number 4, you know, a bigger size dude to match up. I like Chet. I like Chet Holmgren. Yeah. Oh, they still got hella draft picks, and they got a couple guys. Don't trade Jalen Williams, the shooting guard Jalen Williams. Don't trade that one, but get a nice, you know what I'm saying, somebody that can play the 4 position, that can shoot, and you know what I'm saying, maybe post up a little bit too. And OKC is gonna be a problem for a long time because Shea is for real, bro. Shea is for real.
OKC to me, like this was like their first big playoff run, right? So they needed the experience. Okay, we got the experience. We lost to a team that's been there. The Mavs have been there. You know, they were a couple years ago. They were in the Western Conference Finals. They were in the playoffs last year. Like I think lost in the second. So like they've kind of been there. You know, so it's like this was kind of to me the Thunder's first one. Can people on the internet stop with this is the worst number 1 seed? Number 1 seeds have lost to 8 seeds, so they can nowhere near be the worst number 1 seed ever. Like you see that shit on the internet. People like, this is the worst number 1 seed. Is that even a fucking question? No, because they lose to an 8 seed.
It's not even a thing. What are we doing?
Right. Like, they lost to a top 5 player, bro. Yeah. Luka's a top 5 player. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care who wants to say on him. He's European and whatever. He's a top 5 player. Luka is a superstar, MVP caliber player.
Exceeded expectations all year long. Oklahoma,
right?
Yes. This was a team that was supposed to maybe sneak into the playoffs to begin with. Right. Maybe a playing game, right? Because they're just getting younger and better at the same time. They were the number 1 seed. You can't be bad. You can't be the worst number 1 seed ever in this point. Like
you're also the youngest seed.
Yeah.
and you were the most dominant.
Yeah. And they were probably the most consistent team all year. You know what I'm saying? They played good basketball all season long. They deserved the number 1 seed. They went out and got it those last couple of weeks of the season. Minnesota was up on top for a while. Okay, again, that's a ridiculous narrative to say that that's the worst number 1 seed. There's been some bad ones. This team is good. They're just young, and they ran into a buzzsaw. They run into
last year. The Bucks were a number 1 seed. They lost to the Heat. You know what I mean? So
the playing Heat.
Yeah, the play-in Heat, exactly.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So you could make a case for that. You know, we know the Mavericks several years ago lost to the Warriors, if you remember. You know, the Baron Davis Warriors, like that. Like, you know what I mean?
It happens, man. It happens. Do you think with this OKC team, do you think it's because of the sweep of the first round and that Dallas and Clippers went 6? That it was just a momentum thing. Like Dallas had momentum, they didn't have much of a rest.
No, I just think Dallas was the better team and more experienced team.
Veterans.
Because again, if you want to say that Luka and Shea pretty much are a wash, then if you go to that next tier, Kyrie's better than, you know, even though I like Jalen Williams on, you know what I'm saying, on OKC, I think if he continues to develop, that's a perfect, you know what I'm saying, backcourt with him and Shea, but he ain't at Kyrie's level yet. And again, like I said, at the trade deadline, they got that size that they needed to defend and rebound. And I think that was a different game because Shea did everything he could to win that game 6. But Dallas just had too much. And I'm with Nick. It was just Dallas's time. It wasn't OKC's time yet. But they make a couple of tweaks this offseason, and OKC is going to be nasty next year again.
I don't even know how much like tweaking you need to do. Maybe go sign a veteran.
Like I said, you need somebody to play that 4 that can defend, rebound.
Go get
somebody. That's what I'm saying. They got trade bait, and like you said, they got hella picks. They got a, you know.
That's what I mean. That's just keep stockpiling, just keep drafting. They got 14 first round picks.
I'm with you on the vet, but you don't want to just get an old guy. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to get a good player.
They have Gordon Hayward there, and he doesn't play at all.
You want to get a good player to play the number 4. You know what I'm saying? Maybe somebody coming up for the second contract or something like that or whatever. But you want a good player, a good swing, maybe with some size that can play down low with Chet, that can actually score. You know what I'm saying? They got some guys that can rebound and defend a little bit, but somebody that can actually score to kind of help out Shea. And that'll be a complete team, man. But they got the weapons and the arsenal to be able to make all kinds of moves this summer. And from what all the NBA analysts are saying, this summer is going to be wild. So there's going to be a lot of movement.
Your projected UFAs, right? UFAs for this upcoming year. Yeah. James, George, Murray, Ingram, Paul, Lopez, Capella, Brogdon, Miles Turner's out there, Bogdanovich, Tim Howard Jr., like D'Angelo Russell, Anunoby. Yeah. Like you go down the way. There's guys that you could probably get for a good couple-year deal and call it good, right? Without having.
I don't think Indiana's going to let Miles Turner walk out the door, but if they got Miles Turner to kind of pair up with Chet,
that's size to battle with Denver and with Minnesota and teams like that in the West. Yeah, man.
You know, and you got.
I don't think Indiana's not going to let Miles Turner walk out the door. I wouldn't think, and
they should.
If I'm Miles, I'm probably not going to. Indiana's building something there. You know what I mean? Like with the trade.
And honestly, I mean, besides Boston, and maybe who the hell knows what's going on with Milwaukee? But besides Boston, like who else do you really got to compete with in the East? The West is stacked,
bro. He can figure something out.
The Heat will make a move. You know what I'm saying? But the West.
Butler has a player option for next year.
Yeah,
Gobert's in the player options. You're looking at who else was it? Middleton, the player option. John Collins, Kyrie Irving, Rudy Gobert, Jason Tatum,
Collins in OKC would be interesting.
We know Mitchell wants to leave Cleveland. Yeah. I don't think he wants to be there.
Yeah, that's reports that he might be getting traded. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
He has a player option, so there's very well a chance that he finds another home.
He'll wind up in LA with LeBron. LeBron will find 2 top 10 players to come play with him. That's what he does.
And then just to lose out in the first round. Just to lose out in the first round.
And then everybody will be talking about how he ain't got enough help.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right? So
I want to go ahead.
I was going to ask, do we trust Boston to do the job this year? Because I don't. I still don't.
What's the job? What's the job? To beat Indiana?
Win the title.
They gotta win it, bro.
I don't trust them. I don't trust them.
Bro, I don't.
I'm not confident they go out and beat Indiana right now. Like I'm not.
I think I like them.
No,
so
I
was going to ask you guys.
Okay.
Let's make some on the Eastern, because the Eastern Conference Final starts tomorrow. So I think it's Boston in 6 over Indy. I like what Indy's done. I think they're about a year too early. Boston, we all know, has been there, done that. But I can't pick them to sweep because they have games where you're just like, why are you letting this team stick around? I mean, even the game 5 was it game 5 against Cleveland. Cleveland didn't start nobody. Chris Levert, Donovan Mitchell, Jared Allen, and that game was close to the final. Like 4 minutes left. Like they're running us 3 out there to start in 5, and Boston's Boston's still out there trying to let them have a game. It's just like they give up too many games that they shouldn't, or let teams hang around. And Indiana, I think Indiana going into the Garden and getting that big win yesterday, like Tyrese Halliburton showing like, hey, I can be the dude dude that can lead this team. And Pascal Siakam, like everybody wants to. That was one of the underrated trades. During the season too. Like Pascal out, like you know what I mean. So like I think Pacers can get 2, but I like Boston in 6.
Nick, that's where they're burning. Look, here's my thing with this Pacers Boston series. Boston, you won 4-1 against Miami. They're injured Miami team that it was with Butler out, so not much of a competition. You got that win. Cleveland, kind of the same mess. Now Indy's doing the same thing in Milwaukee in New York, right? But here's the difference here. You got a 6 versus a 1. You got a 6 seed that's kind of ran through these guys, not comfortably, but enough, to win the series. You got a team going out there playing really super hard, really super fast, like they've done all year long, setting records on the over-unders, insane stuff for Pacers. What if this is a sneaky series for Indy to come over and just overtake Boston? Now, this might take you 7 games. If you're Indy, you're probably not going to win this thing in 5. You're probably going to win this in 6 or 7. But I feel like the pace of play, just the determination, like you said, Siakam on that team as well. Why not? Why not them go back out and win in 6 or 7 versus Celtics?
I wouldn't be shocked.
Comfortable enough.
I wouldn't be shocked, but I would be surprised if that happened.
No, yeah.
I just think Boston's the better team, and it would say a lot about Jason Tatum, like we were talking about earlier, and Jaylen Brown if they lose to this Indiana.
If they lose to Indy, Missoula might as well just pack his shit up and go home. Like,
right?
We're just gonna. I
mean, like,
yeah.
That like as soon as the clock hits 0, they just might as well say, "Hey, you're fired." If they lose to Indy,
like talk about the path being just laid out for Boston. You know what I'm saying? Like you mentioned, they played an injured Miami Heat team. They played a Cleveland team that Donovan Mitchell didn't play the last few games. You know what I'm saying? Now you're playing an Indiana team who's young. Yes, Halliburton had a phenomenal game yesterday. That does make a big difference there. So I'd feel more comfortable if he was playing.
KP's not playing at least the first 2 or 3 games though of the series.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But I'll take Boston in 6 because again they can't sweep anybody. But I'll take Boston in 6. Indiana, they did what they had to do to get past an injured Knicks team, but Boston has way more talent. But I'm with you, like Tatum should be trying to like destroy people with his size and his athleticism. So I think Boston. I don't care who comes out of the East. I think either one of them is going to get destroyed by the West. To be quite honest,
I don't know about that.
It may not be a gentleman's. I mean, it probably goes 6 games because it'll be compared, especially if it's Boston. But I just think the 2 teams in the West are just better teams. I think they have. I don't know. It's like they're battling out there in the West, bro. So I think whoever comes out of the West is going to be ready to take on Boston. But I'll take Boston in 6, man. Boston's a better team than Indiana. I like Indiana. They're a good young team. I mean, unless Tyrese Halliburton goes insane for several games, I don't see them getting past Boston.
They don't got no brooms. The Leprechauns don't have any sort of brooms. They're too small to pick up the broom is too big.
I was just saying, where are the brooms? Because I haven't seen them for a while. So
yeah,
you're right, Whit. That might have been a strong word, destroyed. But I think the West. I think the champ is in the West, regardless. To be honest.
Whit's question here: who's got the easier path out of the 4 teams left? I mean, realistically, it's Boston. Boston has the most realistic, easy path. Not because they're playing the 16, but because they're number 1 overall with 2 superstars on your team, a third one that's injured, and Al Horford that likes to show up for one game in case the other 2 don't show up. So, honestly, to me, yes, Boston is the answer to this question to go to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
Hey, Tanner,
how much on that is Drew Holiday playing?
Yeah, I forgot about Holiday. Good,
and that's going to be a good matchup for Halliburton. Let's see what he can do against a good defender,
champion, man.
Right. So that's, like I said, there's no reason for Boston except for Boston. We talked about it before. Boston tends to play down to their competition, but Boston should win this in 6.
Hey, the Boston is still not figured out to me, like who the closer is. Like you look at these other teams, you kind of know who the closer is. You know, Minnesota, like their closers ain't. Dallas, it's gonna be Luka, and even Indiana, it's like it's either kind of Siakam or Halliburton right now. I'd almost lean towards Siakam
for his experience,
but like, but Boston still looks at like between Tatum and Brown, like who's gonna close this game out, and they don't have that. Like they can't figure it out even after all these years.
No,
see, and that's sad to say because it should be Tatum without question. Like it shouldn't even be a question who the closer that team is. But no, I'm not with on the Minnesota should have an easier.
Minnesota should have the easy. Nah, man.
Nah, I think Dallas. I think that's going to be a battle out west, man.
Go as Phoenix had that win a couple years ago for their easy path.
Who you guys? I really don't know right now. Like. Who's going to win that series? Right now, I think recency bias of just watching the game last night, it says Minnesota in 7. Like I think it goes 7 regardless, and I think the winner wins the finals. Like that's my pick. Yeah. But I don't know. I don't know which team.
But do you count out Luka? Do you count out Luka not to carry a game or 3? You know.
Right, a game or 3. Yeah, that's facts too.
It is, man. It's just what it is with Luka.
Because he could
win this series on his own.
Yep.
Luka struggled a little bit in that last series. PJ Washington led him in 3 scoring in 3 games in that series. So, but they'll figure it out. Like, and then you look at coaching. I like Jason Kidd as a coach. Minnesota's coach, though, like his team obviously responds because most teams down 20, it's over, and they responded and built that, this KG, So I saw a thing. Speaking of KG, I watched him on his podcast. And Paul Pierce said, "Who are you going to root for? Is Minnesota or Boston?" He said, "I'm rooting for both. I'm the only person in the world that can root for both." He said, "Minnesota win game 1." I'm like, "Yeah, motherfuckers, we won game 1." He said, "Boston win game 2." I'm like, "Yeah, motherfuckers, we won game 2." Like, person in the world that can root for both teams. I said, "He got it. I got a point. He got a point."
Yep, right. He does. He does. I don't see what's wrong with it.
So wait, who did you pick? You got Minnesota winning or Dallas?
I don't know. I don't know.
You said you think it's going 7. That's all you said, and whoever wins is going to win the championship.
I think it's going 7. Shut up. Little trying to get out of here.
His daily bash at Nick. I love it. Appreciate it.
Ball right now.
Thanks, Jonathan.
You'll see, just like his uncle. But I hope it goes 7. I hope it goes 7. If I have to pick right now, I'm gonna lean towards Luka and Dallas, but I think Cat is like the X factor here.
He is.
I do,
Yeah.
and like I said, maybe my brain.
I think Ant's going to play pretty well. I think Anthony Edwards is going to play fairly well. You know what I'm saying, for the series. I think Luka, Kyrie going to do what they. If Cat actually plays and gets his usual double, I think he could be the difference in this series here, because I don't. I mean, if he comes to play every night, and he actually uses his size. That's the one thing that like frustrates me with him sometimes, is like he's always got the size advantage over who's guarding him, but he don't like to go down low. Yeah, but and honestly, he's played a little tougher since Ant has come into his own, because he can now, because Ant's the face of the team. You know what I'm saying? So he can play a little, a little tougher, but if he plays up to his ability, then I think Minnesota could win a series. If he shrivels under the pressure, then I think Dallas wins it in 6. But I'll pick Dallas in 6, and I'm with you, Nick. I think whoever from the West wins the championship.
Gosh, man.
Nas Reed of Minnesota too. That's what I'm saying. Like my recent, I think I'm leaning towards Minnesota today because I watched them win. Super impressed by the shit they did last night, and I was like, you know what I mean. But I think it goes 7. I gotta make a pick, so I'm gonna say Minnesota is different from you, Johnny. So go ahead and break the tie, Tanner.
Ooh, this is a tough one. You have to beating the defending champs in 7 or beating your number 1 seed in 6. Tough one. Luka, veteran team. Minnesota still a young, has a young sort of core, but guys that haven't been there, what I'm saying, inexperienced. There we go. That's the word. This is a tough one. This is such a tough one because Minnesota beating the defending champs in 7, that's something to say. That's something big to say, and they came back in a couple of games.
And no injuries. Like everybody was, healthy as you can be in the playoffs.
Yeah, they should be the favorite.
It's not like,
on the other hand, you got Luka, and we can't count out Luka. And Luka does stuff that players
nobody else is doing, dude.
Shouldn't doing teams here.
I don't know, but I could say the same thing about Ant right now. I could really say the same thing.
Right, but it's different. It's
Luka. Like he's just doing Luka.
Different kind of games, though. You say they have different games.
He doesn't have. Ant has
Luka with his size at the point guard position, bro.
Right. Yeah, Ant has help there. Like he does have help. Let's be real, right? Yeah, he got some all-stars on that team. Yeah. He does have help when he needs it. He didn't shoot the best last time, but he did everything else to make it right. Luka, you don't really have that much help. And if your other guy don't show up, you're also looking at some issues here.
Right.
All right, I'm picking it up here. I'm going Minnesota. I hate it. I'm going Minnesota though. I'm really rooting for Luka because I want to see Luka win a championship and just shut all these haters up about Luka. But I think Minnesota's they have too much talent despite the inexperience on that team. So I'm going Minnesota. And I'm
excited. Like I don't know a time like I've been this it's been a long time this excited to watch two teams really battle it out. Like it seems like usually like it's like been the old guard for like so long. Like there's always a LeBron, there's always a Curry, there's always, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like even in the maybe not in the finals, obviously last year, but like the but the Western Conference Finals, this was like, man. So I was kind of, but like now I'm like, man, like we are talking about Luka, who is like a generational type talent.
Team that loses every year.
Then we got
Conference Finals, Celtics.
Yeah, then we got Ant on the other side, and it's just like, man, this kid is a generational. And we just talked about how he's like the throwback dude and this mentality that he has. And it's just like, these guys are going to be battling out for the next decade, and we're getting our first taste of it right here. You know what I mean? So
it is. Yeah,
and don't forget Mike Conley Jr. From Minnesota, who's a veteran in this game. I was telling my son last night, we were watching him. I said, Mike Conley been in this game a long time. I think he came out when Durant came out because him and Greg Oden played together. So, thanks, Tony.
What up?
Like, so it's like, Conley's been around a long time. So like, that's a guy that's a veteran. They got that veteran leadership.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, I think unless you're a fan of one of these teams, like you can't go wrong. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna see some good basketball, like you mentioned, a lot of good young players, some new blood, like you said. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be happy with whoever wins. I'm gonna be happy for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Luka's a different type of dude. I'm with you on that, Tanner. Like, again, the kid, he gets way too much hate. I love the fact that he ain't whining and complaining to the referees as much as he used to the last several years. So you know what I'm saying, he's put a focus on not worrying about the referees and just going out there and balling. So probably, bro. But I'd be happy as hell for Mike Conley, man. I saw all those years when he was in Memphis grinding it out with the Grizzlies. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be happy for Mike Conley if he won. Yeah, dude, with Debo.
Yeah,
it's a guy,
they still got like he's still. It's not like he's on the bench. No, you know what I mean. Like he's starting. Like
he's important. He's important to that team.
Yeah.
It's black and white.
I just hope that it's good games. You know what I'm saying?
Me too.
You know, the Knicks Pacers went 7, but there was like 4 blowouts out of the 7. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm hoping for, like, you know, if it goes 5 or 6, that it's just 6, you know, grueling battles down to the end, and you know, some exciting basketball.
Even the Nuggets Wolves series outside of Game 7 was a lot of like blowouts, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, it wasn't like a super close. The series itself was good, but if you expand out, but if you zoomed in on it, it was like, oh, these games was over by the fourth quarter. So, he was supposed to be Mike Conley Jr. Now he's like Mike Conley Jr., but got like Mike Conley the 5th, 6th, and 7th.
It's the same guy too. That's the bad thing.
But no, I'm with you though, Nick. Man, I haven't been this excited about the NBA in a long time, and I think it is because of the new blood that's in these playoffs, and you know, whether it's the throwback in Ant's attitude. I love his killer mentality. You know what I'm saying, talking trash, and you know what I'm saying, playing both sides of the ball, and you know, for as much hate as Luka gets, like he's a problem, bro, and that's why a lot of people hating on him because they don't want to give him his respect. But he's been balling since he got in the league.
He's trying to bring the NBA back. You know, it's like Triple H trying to bring wrestling back to what it should be. Ant's doing the same thing for the NBA.
Yes, and I'm excited about. Like you're saying, I know you said we talked about Tatum and his mentality. Like if he had half of Ant's mentality, he'd be such a problem, bro. You know, I mean, he's a problem already, but if he had that killer mentality in him, Jason Tatum, like, oh my God, he'd be crazy. But I like that Boston squad. I like what they put together. Hopefully Porzingis is able to come back at some point, but with Drew Holiday at the point, like they got the best starting 5 in the league. That's why they had the best record in the league. Again, I'll say 6. They should really get past Indiana in 5, but I say 6, and then I think they'll be competitive in the finals. But I think whoever comes out of the West is going to win. I'm with you guys.
If Porzingis comes back and he's healthy, it gives Boston it almost evens back the playing field for them
because he's a mismatch, bro. He's a mismatch.
It's if he can come back. Right now, it's reported that he's at least going to miss the first 2 games of the Eastern Conference Finals, maybe the whole thing, but then they hope to have him back for the finals. So
he was such a pro. Like I mean, you know, Aaron Gordon too. You know what I'm saying? And I like Aaron Gordon. You know what I'm saying? He stepped up big time last year on Denver's run, but he was nowhere to be found yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I think he had like 4 points. You know what I'm saying?
Michael Porter Jr. is nowhere to be found neither. Like it was, they literally. I mean, and really, Jamal Murray in the second half. Where was he at? It was Jokic, and that was it. Like,
I mean,
Jamal Murray had 9 of his 30 in the second half.
Right. Yeah, he played Jamal Murray a lot in the second half and did what he had to do, but nobody else in that supporting cast with Denver stepped up at all. And I mean, Minnesota showed why they were the number 1 defense all year. And everybody contributed on that Minnesota team. It felt like, bro, everybody chipped in a little bit. And they, you know what I'm saying, that team won the game. You know what I'm saying? Because their superstar was not on his game, and they still found a way to win that game in Denver.
But like I said, he wasn't on his game, but he was still affecting the game. Like he did score.
Oh yeah. Right. I mean, like, and that's a true star player, bro. And he's only 20, he's 22, bro. He's a baby. You know what I'm saying? And he already, if he ain't shooting well, he already makes sure he contributes other ways in the game. So
yeah, I'm
excited
huge
for
steal
that.
late in that game.
Yeah, right. He had a couple blocks. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, he's this Western Conference. I mean, both series should be fun. If Indiana shows up to play, that Eastern Conference final is going to be fun as well. I just, you know what I'm saying? Did they leave it? Did they leave it all out there against New York? Are they going to come ready to go at Boston? I don't know, man. I hope so. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, before the game 7, Halliburton was like, sometimes he's too passive, and I think he should be more aggressive. Yeah. Like, he's got so much size for playing the point. Exactly.
You know, turn the switch on.
Yeah, but I mean, Halliburton, I don't know. I think Halliburton's got a little more dog in him than Tatum. You know what I'm saying? So if he can actually like get consistent with that, I think Tyrese Halliburton has a chance to be a superstar as well. But I'm looking forward to that, man. Like I said, I'm excited about this young blood, man.
Well, I don't know what the record is for like 3 points attempted in a series, but Boston and Indy might break that record because both those teams love to shoot threes. So
that was too
bench for Pacers game changer.
That's the crazy part about the way the league is. Like, there were a couple of times where Denver had like a 3-on-2. And instead of just going, you know, running the break to the hole to get an easy 2 points, they would kick it out for a 3, wind up missing it, and it's just like a wasted possession. Like, I understand this game is all about 3-pointers, but if you have an opportunity, you got to get points, man. You got to score every possession, or at least try to. So, I don't know, man, but I'm excited for these conference finals. It should be a lot of fun, and like you said, Nick, I haven't been this excited about basketball in a long time. Like, I honestly have watched more, you know what I'm saying, WNBA than I would the NBA. But these playoffs have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, and real quick, you made a comment about Caitlin Clark in your intro. I'm with you. It's going to take her a little time. She's a little loose with the ball because she tries to make spectacular plays sometimes, so she turns the ball over or whatever, but there's no denying her ability to shoot. So she's going to get better. She's got a great handle. She's going to get stronger. Nobody's going to come into the professional, regardless of what you want to say about the WNBA. They're still the best women's basketball players in the world. They're stronger. They're women. Nobody came into WNBA and just dominated except for Candace Parker. You know what I'm saying? So even Diana Taurasi had a little bit of, you know what I'm saying, before she, you know what I'm saying, started to dominate the WNBA. So Caitlin, she's going to be just fine. That team is not very good except for her and Aaliyah Boston. They got a couple players, but a couple more draft picks. Like, you know, the Las Vegas Aces weren't all this, you know, a few years ago. It took them a few years of drafting the number 1 overall pick, and then boom. The Las Vegas Aces are dominant right now, but give Candace and Aaliyah Boston a couple years, they're going to be a problem.
And two, you got to think every girl is out there trying to knock her head off, right? Because no matter what you say, like they've had to hear about this girl. Yeah, she's a target. They've had to hear about her. Yeah. Everybody else has had to hear about it. All the media, all this, all that. Caitlin this, Caitlin that. You don't think that don't put some chip on some of these veteran girls on the other team? Or wait till she come around here. I'm gonna set this mean ass screen because she's been running into. They've been setting some of the meanest screens possible. I've watched most of tonight's game, all of tonight's game, and I watched about half of Saturday's game when she was playing. It is the same. Like, Ain't that the truth?
Jesus.
There would be no WNBA if Butker was running the show.
Nah, I'm with you on that though. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like she's gonna have a target on her, you know what I'm saying, because of all the attention she's gotten. But at the same time, the WNBA should be grateful for Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and this young blood of nice young women players that are coming into the league, and there's still several more that come in. Paige Beckers from UConn is going to be coming next year. The young girl from USC is going to be coming in a few years. So the WNBA is in good hands. But they should, they're going to give Caitlin everything that she can handle because of all the attention that she's gotten. So teams are motivated to beat her. Girls, the other players are motivated to beat her. But at the same time, you couldn't ask for anything better, the WNBA than for Caitlin Clark, because she's bringing them money. Bottom line.
Oh yeah, no, by far. Do you guys think the WNBA needs to reevaluate when they start the season and with the season length, going from there? Because it feels like, that's so short of a time frame between the draft and the start. It just feels like Caitlin Clark kind of got banged up today. Granted, it's most of the time it's just because you're adapting to the game, but I just feel like there should be at least some kind of build in, kind of like the NBA has, like 2 or 3 months.
Yeah, but they have to fit it in such a small window because you don't want to mess with the NFL at all. Not even training camp and preseason games. You're not going to compete with that at all. So they're kind of stuck in this window. I'm glad they expanded to 40 games, and they're about to get a couple more teams. But they only have a small window, so it just happens to fall that way for them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, compete right now, and then try to get your finals, your finals over around late September, October.
Right. Yeah, before that, they got to be done with it before that NFL season kicks off. There ain't nobody
right now. The only thing you're going to have to compete with during the summer is baseball.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So,
right. And as much as I love baseball, you know what I'm saying, if the Yankees ain't playing, I ain't watching. I'd rather watch the WNBA. To be quite honest, I ain't even gonna front. You know what I'm saying? So, I think they're in a good spot there. But yeah, ain't nobody mess with the NFL. Shit, the NBA is already saying uncle to the NFL. Please, you know what I'm saying, they done took Christmas from them.
Yeah. Yeah,
the NFL put on their Grinch costume and just stole Christmas from the NBA, bro.
Giving, they got it all. You guys weren't on Thursday, and me and Sam talked a little bit of the NFL. Johnny, I'll start with you. Just your initial takeaway. I don't know, from either or just any other team schedule.
Well, I'm excited for the schedule. Obviously, as a Dolphin fan, first of all, sorry, Dolphin fans. That schedule release video was lame as shit that the Dolphins put out there. That was garbage. You know what I'm saying? The whole Tyreek and Raheem Mostert typing in some shit, and then the schedule just goes up the screen real fast, kind of like a Star Wars scroll in the beginning, and you can't even see shit. And then that's it. It's over. That was just. I had a problem with that. That was lame, especially when other places come up with some creative shit.
Chargers kill it.
I'm excited about it. Yeah, they do every year. I like with Sam. Shout out to Sam and his Titans with the whole Broadway thing where they asked the people out in the street about the different teams and stuff like that. But no, I'm excited about the season. I'm glad that the Dolphins have 5 primetime games, possibly 6. It's all out there for the Dolphins to prove that they belong, with the big boys in the NFL. Let's see what they do. Once again, the Jets have 6 primetime games, so they better hope Aaron Rodgers is healthy, or they're going to be in the same boat as they were last year. And I think if I remember correctly, except for Tuesday, your Chiefs, Tanner, play every day of the week.
Every day of
Tuesday. Week. That's insane, bro. That's crazy, bro. Talk about the NFL taking over, bro.
It's pretty wild.
It's pretty wild. Randall said each one of Tyreek's baby mamas should have.
That would have been way better. that would have been way better, bro.
The left arm. Oh God. Oh shit, dude.
Baby number one.
Nah, I'm excited about the NFL. You know what I'm saying? I like the way it's laid out for the Dolphins. Like I said, I don't want to make it all about the Dolphins, and I ain't gonna front. It's not like I looked at every team's schedule because I'm not worried about every other team. But I did notice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think you guys start out. Tanner, you guys start out playing who?
We got
Baltimore,
Bengals or Ravens, Bengals.
Yeah, the bank. So that's a good way to start off the season.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So I'm excited for the NFL, of course. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be, it's all laid out there. The Dolphins can squash every narrative this year if they're actually going to be who they want to be. They end the season going to Cleveland and then to the Jets. So if you're a true contender, then you need to win some games, and they're right there in front of you. So we'll see what happens.
They didn't do the Steelers any favors. I know that they got their last 8 games. There's all division games sprinkled in with the Chiefs and Bills.
The second to last game's the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's they got a tough road ahead. Their final, and we don't really know. That's the thing. Yeah. That's why when in our group chat, I was like, you guys, they don't really mean shit. Because we haven't, we think, but in the day, who knows by the time December rolls around, who's healthy and whatnot. Right now, today, we're that's a tough game, but fucking by December rolls around, that team could be 6 and whatever.
Justin Fields is playing, and he's throwing 9 picks a game again. So
right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, you can get excited about possible matchups, but again, you hope everybody's healthy.
Yes.
Yeah, that's going to be
dominant.
That's going to be a problem. Derrick Henry in Baltimore. That's going to be interesting to see. But can guys stay healthy? Like you said, is Aaron Rodgers going to play all year? You know what I'm saying? It's who thought Joe Burrow, right? Who thought Joe Burrow was going to be hurt most of the year? You know what I'm saying? So you never know what's going to happen, but I'm excited. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing. The NFL basically dominates the whole freaking year. I mean, I know Nick could care less about preseason, the draft, the schedule release, or anything else. He don't care about. He only cares about September to February. That's all he cares about. The hell with all the other shit that's
in the draft. He likes the draft. He enjoys the draft.
I like the little bit of the draft and
a little bit
hot stove. Yeah, hot stove. I like the hot stove, where players are signing and things like that. I like that in all sports. The hot stove is the best to me.
Yeah.
But then I could give about any preseason game, fucking schedule releases, shit like that. Cut day is a little different, especially when it's veteran guys getting cut. Yeah. That's it. What do you guys make of Higgins still hasn't signed his tenured, and now there's huge beef between him and the Bengals right now. They can't figure this thing out.
It's fine. It's early. It's fine. I don't care.
It's huge beef until they show him that money. Then he'll be all is forgiven, and he'll be fine. But I don't blame him, bro. I mean, I don't blame any NFL player when they hold out for their money, man. Because you never know, man. Any play could be your last play. So get that bag, when you can.
Let's be real. They got to get rid of the franchise tag for sure in the 5th year option.
Yeah.
This next CBA, it's where all the drama leads to.
The thing is that's where the NFL is going to get their 18th game too.
Yes, it will.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
We get rid of these.
They'll give up the franchise tag. Then you got to give us the 18th game. They'll get rid of the third preseason game. So it'll just be 2 preseason games and then an 18th game schedule.
Why would we have 2 preseason games? I don't understand that. Where else? When else are you going to see the young guys? When else are you going to see the guys that you don't know who to bring up from practice?
Yeah, that's it.
Right.
Yeah, are the guys who are that 58th, 53rd man that roster
that need that game.
The only way, the only way to do that is to do those joint practices. You know what I mean?
Right.
But then that's where a lot of fights fucking break out. If you ever,
and
half your time's wasted because we're fighting, dude.
Yeah.
If you notice, a lot of teams are starting to like they find that 1 or 2 team that they can battle with, but they cool with. So you're gonna wind up seeing a lot of them have the same opponent every time that they have those. You know what I'm saying? Those weeks where they they practice together and stuff like that. So it's gonna start happening like that. But now I'm with you, Tan. I mean, I feel bad for a lot of these guys that are, you know, on the fringe of making a team. Like, you don't have the extra couple of preseason games to kind of show what you have. John Randles is bringing it tonight, boy.
Yeah. Guys.
Appreciate you, bro. But nah, so I feel bad for like those fringe guys that they don't get the opportunity to show what they can do, you know what I'm saying, because of the lack of preseason games. So but that's where they're leaning. They want the NFL want that 18th game bad.
Yeah, like what if you made a rule like anybody that's on the cut, right? Like that 40 plus up for the man, like they're the only ones allowed to play that third preseason game, or you know, something in that range.
Yeah, or maybe only play the only preseason games, right? Starters don't ever play the preseason game anyway. Well, you know,
some do. Like they play the first quarter.
Like maybe like you said, maybe the last two can be just those players there. But that's why if you notice, they're expanding the practice squad. They're gonna start expanding that a little more. You know, I think it's up to 16 now. It'll probably get up to 20 or more. You know what I'm saying? Because they have to, because guys are getting hurt like crazy. But
they are.
That's how the NFL is gonna get their 18th game. So all that, we care about player safety.
Already said
no,
that.
They don't. They don't give a damn about player safety. They care about money. That's all they care about.
He wants 18 games, and then that puts the Super Bowl like at President's Day. So the Super Bowl every Super Bowl, the next day would be President's Day.
That'd be great, then, so that people have that day off.
Yeah, have that day off. Yeah.
Most people have that day off.
I better next year.
I'm about to say some of us got it. Some of us still got to work.
Yeah.
yeah.
I ain't got it off.
Me either.
Yeah, expanded rosters, but players can only play 17 games. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
They'll probably come up with something like that or whatever. But yeah, if the players want to get rid of the franchise tag, they're gonna have to give up that. They're gonna have to give into the 18th game.
Play that next game there.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on
the Don't give Tua money. You want to win a playoff game? Don't give Tua money.
There you go, John. You really wanted to ask that question on this panel.
We'll get some more better investment. Tua, man. Come on.
Nah, that's not gonna happen. He's gonna get his money, charity, bro. And he's not holding out, bro. That's all fake news, John.
No, he ain't gonna hold out.
He showed up.
He's not sitting there comfortably like he just won 3 playoff games or anything. They're committed to him, whether you agree with it or not. They built the team basically around him, so he's gonna get his money. It's just a matter of figuring out what kind of language they're gonna put in it to kind of. Miami wants to give themselves some kind of security and want to possibly give themselves an out.
Who gets their deal first? Tua or Trevor Lawrence?
Lawrence.
I think Trevor Lawrence.
They're working on his
deal even though he's coming off of an injury himself.
I read the stats on Thursday. Him and Gardner Minshew, their first 50 games are damn near identical.
Yeah, I think Gardner's better, right?
Wow.
Like he's just
in
better
some categories, like less interceptions,
Yeah.
They're very similar. Like as far as passing yards, touchdowns, T-Law has more interceptions, quarterback rating in their first 50 games.
Yeah, but I think it's almost like the Tua and Justin Herbert argument. Like Justin Herbert just looks the part. Yeah. Just like Trevor Lawrence looks the part. Minshew doesn't look the part, but he gets it done.
Minshew's got the mullet and the jean short. He looks the part to me.
Right. Nah, shit. I hope not, bro. You know what I'm saying? You better have some of his Samoan cousins, Polynesian cousins carrying his bag for him, man. I don't want him missing no weeks.
I think Lawrence gets it beforehand because the Jaguars are not going to let Lawrence go for any reason. Like they're sold on him, regardless of what last year was. They're sold on him.
He's a forever Jaguar, bro. The Jacksonville.
I don't know. This is the year.
Nah, dude. He's gonna get his.
Randall.
Yeah, he's gonna get his money, bro. He's gonna get his money. You don't find quarterbacks do not grow on trees, bro. I mean, Chicago may find that out. Even though I think Caleb Williams is going to be a good player, and I like the way they're building a team around him, but quarterbacks don't just come out of nowhere, bro. Like if you have a good quarterback, you need to, you know what I'm saying? You need to do what you can to keep him and build a team around him.
That's a good one.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. If I had to pick one, I would go Trevor Lawrence. But I think Tua's gonna get his deal's gonna get done, bro. It's in the Miami's best interest to get the Tua deal done, so that way they have the money to take care of Javon Holland and Jalen Waddle, Jalen Phillips, and stuff like that. So there's strategy behind what they're doing, bro.
I hope so.
Yeah,
kind of.
Yeah, I hope so too. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not for nothing. I mean, I understand that was a pathetic showing by the Miami Dolphins against your Chiefs, but a couple of years ago, you guys came down to Miami. It was a competitive game. Like, I mean, as much as we have to beat Buffalo just to win our freaking division, like it's all about Kansas City, and can you beat Kansas City? So
it wasn't even that for me. It wasn't even the Chiefs wildcard game because I knew as soon as we got where we were at home. It was gonna happen,
I know
right?
losing week 17 at home against Buffalo.
But it was it was like your last what was it 6 weeks that were just atrocious.
It was horrible.
Injuries
happening,
dropped games when you were ahead, like that kind of like that whole thing. That's what brought me in the whole like. I mean, can you stick with him? Can you finish out a season with Tua? Supposed to be leading the team and doing stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where my deal is. It's not the Chiefs game, but like that's the only reason. Like we beat you.
No. That's fair. Yeah. I mean, and like I told Jonathan, and I, shout out to John. I love my son John, and he's I had to apologize to him for several years for making him a Dolphin fan because we were horrible for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But saying he's excited about this team and excited about Tua. I think Tua still has space to grow. He's only 25, 26 years old. He's going into the third year of this offense. I think a lot of it is on Mike McDaniel too. You know what I'm saying? He is the wonder kid. He's obviously got a great mind for offense in the game, but those second half adjustments, like where are they? Like he needs to get better at that. Like he doesn't adjust very well in the second half. This is Tyreek Hill's last year with guaranteed money. I don't see it. Okay. I don't see, and again, that's why I think the OBJ signing was big. That's why I think the drafting of Malik Washington was big. I would not be surprised, depending on how the season goes, if they try to move off of Tyreek Hill after this season. That would not surprise me at all. That's why they did not want anybody. They were not going to deal their first or second round picks next year, and that's why they didn't pay Christian Wilkins or Robert Hunt, because they need that money to pay Jalen Waddle and Jalen Phillips and Javon Holland. So, I wouldn't be surprised if Tyreek Hill is not on the team next year.
That wouldn't be a surprise to I think a lot of people. Maybe the mainstream guys, but not us. So
right. Now, I mean, and he's brought excitement to Miami. I love what he's done for Miami, whatever. But I mean, like every day there's something, bro. Like every offseason has been something. Man. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you got to worry about shit with him, and it's just like, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, can we go through it? Can we go through an off season without having to hear about some stupid shit you did? Like, for real? Like, come on, man.
Yeah, but we like Wilkins.
Yeah, I mean, and I like Wilkins. You know what I'm saying? I really like Wilkins, but he ain't worth $25 million, bro. He's just not.
People throw money at these guys if they think they're anything remotely good. They'll be like, "Oh, I can make him better. Let's make sure we lock him up, right?"
Right. And he's probably gonna have a nice season on the Raiders with Max Crosby in that defensive line. I don't think the Raiders are gonna be that good. They might win a few games, but I don't think they're not gonna bother you guys at all in that West. So enjoy your bag in Las Vegas, winning 6 games next year, Christian Wilkins. I'm happy for you. You know what I'm saying? But that money,
quarterback,
right? With that money that they saved on Christian Wilkins, that'll go to Jalen Waddle or to Javon Holland. You know what I'm saying? So I'm okay with what the Dolphins did, and like I said, I'm okay with them giving Tua the money. It's not like they have a better option to turn to right now. So go into this third year in this offense. They put some more weapons around him. I love the addition of Jonnu Smith. Like I'm excited for what this Dolphins offense can do. This Anthony Weaver that we got from Baltimore can coach up the defense. I like some of the moves they did on the defense side of the ball, and plus they get another $18.3 or $18.5 million after June 1st. So don't be surprised if Justin Simmons or Quandre Diggs, they need another safety. So don't be surprised if they don't get themselves a nice safety. I would love for them to bring what's this kid's name? The big defensive tackle from the U. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank. He played for Baltimore. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on a former Kane. That's sad. Anyway, they need a safety, and then I would never complain about some offensive line help. So.
Gerald Willis?
No. He's older. I think he played for Jacksonville for several years, and then he went to Baltimore for a couple of years. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank right now. Somebody help me out.
My Lord, he's with Baltimore right now.
He was either with Baltimore or he might have went to Atlanta last year, I think. Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell. Like, he's a big body to help with stopping the run, because that's the one thing I give Christian Wilkins is his ability to stop the run. I'm worried about that for this Dolphins defense this year, but if we can shore up that defensive line as far as stopping the run, because I think we're going to put up points. Yeah, and I think we're going to put up a lot of points. So it's going to be fun to see, man. Like I said, this is the prove it year for Tua. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the year that they need to do something. This is, like I said, this is the first time that he's had the third year in a row. I mean, if I had to put money on it, yeah, your boy has already gotten to that point. I think we talked about it before last season started. Like, your boy's already at the point, like, you don't bet against him. Like, you just expect him to be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Until he gets beat, I don't see nobody beating him.
I'm doing the whole Nick Watkins thing this year. Don't bet against the Chiefs. So
no.
No matter how bad it looks, just don't bet against it.
No, if 15 is playing, then they have a chance to win, bro. That's the bottom line.
You hear us, Nick?
You good, Nick?
Yeah. I'm on. I had to use my phone. All of a sudden, StreamYard won't even pull up. My internet's going, but it just whole StreamYard.
Is it though?
It is.
You got 2 less people, man. You should have better connection.
I'm watching the damn hockey game. Still going.
Nice.
So I don't know what the hell happened. So I just used the link on StreamYard that I sent to Jim, and just you got to do so much now. You got to fucking download an app.
I heard it's awful, dude.
Yeah.
Awful. What do we do? Like, why? I get we're updating, but damn, come on, man.
Some stuff everything needs a fucking app today.
Everything, dude.
Anyway, I guess we can get up out of here. We'll go ahead. I know Johnny's got trying to get to bed early tonight, so no Jim and John anyway. So, we'll be back Thursday night. So, Johnny, before we get out of here, any final thoughts?
Just happy to be back with you guys. Sorry missing out on Jim and Jonathan on a Monday night. Shout out to Sam. Stop eating that booty, and maybe your tummy won't hurt. But shout out to Sam. Can't wait to speak to him on Thursday. Shout out to Scott. Looking forward to hearing his voice and talking to him again. Man, a quick shout out to Byron and to Alex. I do a Dolphin show with them. They did me the solid of letting me be part of their Dolphin show on their network, on the Kendall Sports Network, because life and work is just not allowing me to do as many shows. As you can see, I've missed a bunch of shows on here, so I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate them for letting me be a part of their show there. But no, man, just excited to actually be able to talk some sports with you guys, and looking forward to the next one.
Tanner, any final thoughts before we get up out of here?
Mikey started dropping his series of breaking down every NFL team and kind of what the fantasy impact is on that. There's a lot of teams to cover and not a lot of weeks left, believe it or not. I know we're towards the end of May, but it's fans football season soon, Nick. Just be ready, man. Be ready. Did you ship that belt off, by the way?
Jalen Wright.
I still got it. I got to send it out to Rob.
Rob, right? You still got to get it out. Better get it out before the draft, man. We get it all figured out.
Yeah.
But yeah, check that out on Basement Brew Fantasy Football. Some new stuff dropping here also for his program and guides and all that. So check that out here come Friday. But yeah, other than that, let's have fun. Let's have a good NBA playoffs, man. And
Yes,
in the
please.
Stanley Cup playoffs as well. Because
Yes.
Dallas just beat Vegas and Colorado to get into the finals.
Nice.
Pretty sure Jim told us Vegas was going to win the year. So, you know.
Well, before the playoffs started, I think he said Dallas.
Yeah, I think he said Dallas.
Yeah,
before.
he did.
Yeah. And right now, Edmonton's up over Vancouver 1-0 in Game 7.
I would love to see Connor David in a final, bro.
Right.
Yeah.
I would love to see that against the Rangers too. That'd be nice, bro. Put him on the main stage right there, bro.
So this winner faces Rangers in the Eastern.
No, they face Dallas. They face Dallas.
Yeah, they face Dallas. I'm talking about in the cup final, in the final.
Florida, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And they're a problem, bro. Florida's good, bro.
Yeah, we could be back-to-back Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah. I'm rooting for Edmonton and New York. I think that'll be a fun Stanley Cup final.
That would be.
Yeah, it's 1-0 right now, Edmonton. So there's that.
Right.
Please check out my interview I did with Crazy Kev, host Crazy Kev MMA. Last night it was great to talk. He's a jiu-jitsu guy. Trains jiu-jitsu, does jiu-jitsu, also hosts his own MMA podcast. A lot of fun sitting down and talking all things with him last night. So please check that out. Other than that, we always got to battle through the Bodkins internet, which is always fun. So nonetheless, be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Like, subscribe, share. We'll see you Thursday night. We'll talk all these NBA playoffs, little hockey, and whatever else whatever else comes across. So be a friend, tell a friend, folks. Tanner, hit that outro. Have a good week, folks. See you on Thursday.
See you guys.
Thanks so much for joining us, and until next time, let's talk sport, friends. Thanks for watching.